Hi, my name's Benedict Vos. I'm the program director of Scarborough Arts. You're listening to the Big Art Book Podcast. The Big Art Book Project is an experiment in 2012. It's the merger of two annual programs, a youth visual arts project and an open writing project that we do. We wanted to combine those two elements and generate fresh, new, creative content and really see where that would take us. We weren't sure about the response, we weren't sure how it would be received by our community of artists, but the outpouring of material and support has been overwhelming. You'll be listening to a selection of writers and poets chosen by our juror from the Big Art Book.
My name is Sheila Bello. I was born in Trinidad in the West Indies. I grew up there, but then I moved to Canada 39 and a half years ago. I've lived in various parts of Ontario, but for the last 30 years or so, I lived in Scarborough. I've lived in northwestern Ontario, in Mississauga, in Etobicoke, but now I'm settled in Scarborough and I plan to live the rest of my days here. I wrote this piece called Talk, and there are 3 sections to it. I wanted to give examples of different kinds of talk, because when we talk, depends on who we're talking with and the context of our talk, we talk accordingly. It's about a conversation, a telephone conversation with a senior person. I'm doing an analysis of that talk and I make a conclusion, and that's what the poem is about. The second section is called Backyard Musing. And Backyard Musing, it's short, reflective pieces of lyrical poetry in the tanka format. In a sense, it's like talking to myself. It's me walking in my garden. This is suitable for reflection. I guess it can be, this kind of musing can take place in anybody's yard or in a park or anywhere. And the third piece I did is called Wine Ritual Talk. This is a party piece, and it's almost like a fun, like when you gather with friends and you're having fun and you say things. And I invented this. Ben, you said be creative. And I decided to write this piece called Wine Ritual Talk. I don't know if it's because I like to drink wine, but hey, so this is suitable for parties. And the word wine, different words can be substituted. You can substitute beer. You say beer ritual talk instead of wine. Recycled talk. On the telephone, you repeat stories and relive events. You tell me about your current amusements, the book you are reading, and the movies you watch on YouTube. You are somewhere in the vicinity of your 79th year, not far from the 80 zone. Behind your voice, I hear you fidget and fumble as you move about in your wheelchair. You ask if and when we might meet again. You say that it will not happen. Never again, you complain. If it could be arranged that we meet again, I wonder what we would do. Would we repeat the same stories or retreat from events in the past as we gaze ahead and eat? Would we talk about a future that is distant, hazy, and unsure, or what we plan to do tomorrow? This too would not be new. It would be recycled talk. Backyard musing. When the snow melts, these bleeding hearts will spring again. But will I be here to see their pink blossoms? Time is the ultimate boss. Each spring, it restores these flowers, but reduces my number of summers to see them. Flowers everywhere. Why is this wasp on my toe? Did it sip from a drop of my spilled wine? Come closer, birds. Feast from the flower cups on these shrubs. You too, bees and butterflies. Stay away, flies and mosquitoes. The grass will grow back, but this moment will not return. He should stop cutting and sit with me. The sun is setting. Wine Ritual Talk. Swirl, sip and smile. Special friends are by your side. Make secret wishes to have sunshine in your steps and that poisonous stuff be swept from your lives. Swirl, sip and smile. Swirl, sip and smile. Swirl, sip and smile.
You're listening to the Scarborough Arts Big Art Book Podcast here in studio at Scarborough Arts.
It's all about words and talking and expressing. So here there's this party one, for example, and in comparison, there is the musing, talking to myself, and the recycled talk, talking about a senior, and that too, in a ways, recalling is talking about talk. Talking is as natural and normal as breathing. Sometimes as human beings, we have a compulsion to talk. In the same way animals make sounds all the time and they repeat themselves, we repeat talk. If we analyze the things we say, you would see how much repetition there is. We tend to say the same things again and again. We repeat ourselves. We talk about the same issues, the same topics. We give our perspectives, but it's all repeated. Think about your own conversations and analyze them, and you would see how much repetition, whether on the phone, whether we meet face to face, there's repetition in talk. And my term for it is recycled talk.
No, I've never taken the moment to sort of think about it in that way, but that's the truth.
Yeah, and that's why I said, okay, there are different situations, different kinds of talk, but these were three. I thought that, okay, let me give some different perspectives to just illustrate the idea of talk and repetitive talk. Even this wine ritual, it's repetition. What is ritual? It's repetition. Everything in life is repetition.
It's interesting too because they touch upon the theme of aging. Is that something that's...
Aging and living, and at the same time breaking the stereotype of the senior who is out there and helpless and who is not thinking. It talks about being quiet by yourself and moving and reflecting on nature, which is the backyard musing, is nature reflections. And then there's the party, we as party people, human nature is to be gregarious and to want to be with other people and have fun, right, and laugh. And it wasn't this exact. I polished it and changed a few words in it for this project. So, but the basic project was there. And the backyard musing, I was learning to write tanka because I just became a member of Tanka Canada. And I wrote this last summer, actually. So I pulled it out of my box. I have a big box of scribbles at home. I pulled it out of my box and polished it off. But the recycled talk, I had a draft of it and then I polished it off. Actually, I wrote it in early January and then I polished it off and I said, okay, let me put the three together. There are more pieces, but I said, okay, that's what I did in a rush.
Scarborough Arts is a not-for-profit community arts organization. We've been proudly serving our community of Scarborough through the arts since 1978. To find out more information about Scarborough Arts and our ongoing programs and projects, you can visit us at scarborougharts.com.